What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about Eric Weddle, who is one of the newer legends out there. Many of you guys are trying to find that perfect safety for your team. The honest, pretty much answer to a lot of what you guys are asking is there isn't really a perfect safety. Because what happens is there's so many different routes and so many different beaters in the game. You just have to be able to put your players in the best possible position. So we're going to go over a few things to kind of see what's happening, but it's bottom line, it's only good if he played on your theme team. Now, I know that he gets to a 96 speed, and that's the fastest Eric Weddle EA has probably ever released. But in all honesty, I don't know if he's going to be worth it for anybody else. So you're looking at the Ravens, the Ravens and the Chargers. Not sure if he played for anybody else. If he did, that's his business. But bro, it don't really matter. As far as I know, I remember watching him on the Ravens and the Chargers. All right, so look, this is what we're going to take a look at right now. Number one, paying 1 million coins for any one card right now in the state of this game is kind of weird, unless that includes the power-up. Now, even though we're not worried about his power-up or anything like that, like, for instance, like, right now, if you were to buy Sean Taylor, he would probably give you more value over Eric Weddle, depending on how you're going to use him. And then his power-up is very expensive, and then so was his actual card. You know, well, not too much, but like 400K, but you're going to spend like $1 million right now if you look at it in the auction house. So let me just show you what I'm talking about with Sean Taylor before we get into it, because it's all about what you're trying to do for your team. Now, obviously, EA Sports has possessed all of us to think that if you don't play with a theme team, you're not doing it right. So because of that, we have all become accustomed to making sure we get the right players all the time, right? So this is a situation where Sean Taylor is also a 96 speed, right? He doesn't have this, I don't think his zone is naturally as good as Eric Weddle's. We can take a look at it now, but just to give you an idea of it, right? So there goes his 95 at 400K even, and then I think his power up is like, okay, so he's about 899. Is that the good math? Okay, yeah, it's about 899. So let's just say 900K, right? Would you rather have Sean Taylor on your team? Okay, would you rather have a guy that only had one team? So he's the Washington football team. If you guys don't have a Washington football team, he serves no purpose as far as the extra chems getting up to a 98 speed, right? Eric Weddle, no matter what, he's going to be a 98 on all of your teams, whether it's a Ravens or a Chargers, right? So you got two, at least two. If you play for somebody else, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. But you have more options. Does that make him a better player? No. Okay, just because he played for two different teams, it doesn't really matter. Because one of the things you'll notice with this guy is that he's a very, very good user. He moves around very good. And his price hasn't really changed as much. So it kind of lets you know many people are either using him or he's able to stay in coverage very, very well for a lot of people. That's pretty much what's been going on with the situation with Sean Taylor, because his price has fluctuated, but it stayed around, it's going to be around 900K to get this done. So now let's go back to Eric Weddle and take a look at what's going on with that. And let's see the pros and the cons about it. Number one, like I said, if you do not have a theme team, you don't care about him. Could you use him as a sub linebacker and he'll go crazy? Probably. But there's so many more cheaper versions. Also, you can get a free card right now. You could go ahead and get Marcus Williams. Bro, Marcus Williams is sitting there right now. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I'm going to go into my lineup and show you what I did, because I took him as my free card. Okay, so now he can't. Connection lost. EA Sports, shout out to you guys. You're probably working on getting a new SpongeBob, uniform in the game or something, so you're booting me from the game. But I'm going to show you guys Marcus Williams to kind of give you guys a little bit more access to what's going on, and then we could go ahead and figure that out in a second. So we're going to go back and take a look at Eric Weddle and see exactly what's going on with him, and then we're going to get out and we're going to go look at the free card that I got from just playing challenges through the current playoff promo situation that's going on. You could go ahead and find it. Many of you guys have already gotten your free player, so you already know what's up with it. We're going to go ahead right now. Let's just take a look at it. And also, don't be fooled. The 96, people are putting them up around the same prices. Obviously, the 97 is the limited, so look for the limited in the lower section. The limited, obviously, at this point of the year, everybody knows it comes with everything already maxed out. So he has a higher zone threshold right at the top of the point. You see Sean Taylor comes in with the 93, so he starts at 96. Does that mean he's going to play it better? No, it does not. I need you guys to understand, like I said earlier, it's not really that this card is going to play any different than any other card that's on your team. It's the fact that you get a player that you're familiar with and that you like. You know, you just want to play with a player that you know that played the game, and it's just more enjoyable to see those players that you like do well in your game. Other than that, all of the cards are pretty much the same right now. You know, if we're being brutally honest about it, most of the cards, with the exception of a few, are the same. And what like differentiates them? It's the speed. So because he's a 96 speed with a 96 excel, when you add sprinter to him, he becomes a little bit more appealing. And that's the only thing that's going on with that situation. There is nothing else that makes this card exciting other than the fact that you can boost him all the way up to a 98 speed on a Ravens or a Chargers theme team. That is where it's exciting. Anything else other than that, somebody's lying to you. Like, he's not, oh my God, he hawked it down. No, they all do the same thing. All right, so let's go take a look at a cheaper option. All right, we'll go see if you can do this in another way, so that way you don't have to go after Eric Weddle. Now remember, if you are a theme team, you have no choice. EA has put us in a situation where you have no choice but to get those boosts, because this is the difference that's going to happen in the game. Your player, if he doesn't have the proper speed because you're coming out without a theme team and a guy roasts you, right? What happens is you automatically go into a blind rage. You're like, yo, this game sucks, all that good stuff. We all do it, right? It's regular. Then you go back and you look at it like, hold on, my player would probably be better on a theme team. And then that's how it starts to click, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna have to go do this, because if I don't do this, my player is too slow, although he's a player that I like. So look, I don't have a theme team with the Saints, right? But Marcus Williams is still a 97, 98 excel. So this is what I ask you, right? If you don't have a Chargers or a Ravens theme team, what is the value of Eric Weddle? Very little. It's nothing that's like, it's not, it's sort of like this, right? He doesn't have anything of value to where it's like, oh my God, I gotta break the bank. And the reason that I try to explain it to you guys like that is there really is no difference with the way that these two cards are gonna play. So if you got this card for free by playing and getting the 60 stars in the challenges for the playoffs, and you put Eric Weddle in the same exact spot, they're going to play exactly the same. It's just that the speed is going to differentiate between all of them. You know, at this point in Madden, when the cards start to come out, all we're looking for is boosted attributes. That everybody's looking at the speed first. Okay, okay, that dude is slower than Gary the Snail. We're automatically looking like, all right, is that what it is? Is that what it is? Because that's what makes it exciting. There is nothing else that comes in between your team getting better than the speed in certain aspects when you look at the personnel that you have. So, okay, he doesn't have that big hit power, but we all know many people are not going to cause fumbles. I hit stick Michael Vick in a game a couple days ago, like 3 or 4 times. He fumbled on like the 4th time, but what I'm saying is most players are not going to fumble anyway, unless EA generates that fumble for that game. So I wouldn't focus as much as we used to, like in Madden 20, on the hit power aspect. So everything else about this card is pretty decent. So would you rather spend 1 point whatever that's going for Eric Weddle, or spend $0 and get this card and power him up, and that's all you would have to spend on, and then you'll be, you know, it'll be a much better deal for you? Because uniquely, with the way that these players work, you don't really have to do too much to a lot of these cards right now, because we're getting to that point where the Super Bowl is coming. We're going to get our first gold 99, and then after that, EA goes crazy. Every card is OP. So I don't want everyone to feel like you need to spend money. Now look, remember what I told you. If you are a theme team, like for those of you guys that are on a Washington football theme team, you guys already have Sean Taylor. Nobody needs to tell you that Sean Taylor with a 98 speed is going to be wild. You already know that. This situation is different, because what we're starting to notice is a lot of players don't react no matter what zone they're in. That has nothing to do with their attributes. That's the way the game is. And it's also gotten a little bit more wild since the patch. The players just don't play their zones properly. So you have to just, this is my opinion for this situation. You put the fastest player with the best zone at those secondary positions and let them play. You can go mid-zone, you can do whatever else you want. I don't care what else goes on, but I'm telling you, a majority of the people, and it's all over the place, the cover 3 beaters are serious business. Dudes will come out in bunch, butt naked, haven't taken a shower in weeks, and run flood and just throw a streak, and the guy is wide open because the zones don't pay attention to the streak because of the out route. So yes, you can play it different ways, but you got to understand a couple things, right? You have to make sure that at least your player, when you click on to get that speed boost, has a chance to get there. So Eric Weddle without a theme team and 96 speed, I think you guys see where I'm going with it. It's like, do you want to go and put yourself in that situation when there's another player that you can just boost to 97 and just chill? Now, I know I brought up earlier the whole Sean Taylor thing, right? And some of you guys are very concerned with that. You're like, yo, Gmia, what's going on with this whole Sean Taylor thing? Is he really the best option for you right now? Like, is he a guy that's going to handle whatever else you need to go on with you as far as the game goes? That's a very interesting question. One of the major things that you guys have to understand is Sean Taylor would be solely a user for me. I wouldn't have him in coverage. So I don't care that his zone is 93 base. You see what I'm saying? Like, when I had Calvin Johnson, I had to get rid of Calvin because Calvin was too big, right? So if you didn't throw it straight above his head, if you throw it straight and it's like 20 yards downfield, he'll jump up and pick it. But if he has to make up with recovery speed, he can't get there. So that creates a situation where it's like, all right, what are we going to do right now? Like, we have to do something. What is the best option? So for me, I would probably go Sean Taylor over Eric Weddle because he's bigger and he's going to be a guy that's going to blast you into another lifetime. Even though you won't fumble, I still think he's the better user. Regardless of all of that being put together, now you have to decide, okay, I'm building this type of theme team. There are going to be players that I need to mix and match. I'm going to need to be able to put other players in positions that are not on my team that are going to have to give me the full effect, right? So look, this is where it gets really, really interesting. Because a guy like Taylor Mays that got a 50 card, we don't know when he's getting his next card, but we know that he's going to be endgame with his next card. Because already with where he is right now, he's going to automatically be a 99 speed. EA is just waiting as long as they can before they put these other cards in that's going to break the game. Now, once this guy can unlock pick artists, he's going to be the best user in the game. One of the biggest reasons a lot of people don't use him and they go Sean Taylor and they don't have an ability is because Sean Taylor has a better chance to catch the ball. This guy just does not catch the ball. All right, so he will in certain cases if you get lucky, but in clutch moments, he won't do it. So one of the biggest things and the reasoning behind why EA didn't do it by giving him pick artists, because it makes it so much easier to catch the ball. It's very, very difficult for you to also roam the field with him and just know you're going to get the pick. Like, my user has pick artists on him, so more often than not, I'm not going to drop that pick. That's what makes him dangerous when you use him. Is he still a good user? Yes, but he does not get pick artists, and that is a dangerous thing. So evaluating the safeties and everything like that for your team, it's very, very important, but you guys also have to, think how are you going to use that player? Like, for instance, for me, Eric Weddle is not fast enough to play the outside, the outfield for me. He's not fast enough to be in the backfield and just chilling, at 96 speed. I would rather have, D'Angelo Hall. D'Angelo Hall plays safety for me. I sub him in for safety because he has a 98 speed on my team. You see what I'm saying? So, is there going to be any difference between D'Angelo Hall and Eric Weddle? Probably not. Because they're both going to be maxed out with zone, and if you're on a theme team, he's going to be 98 speed. So what will be the difference? The only difference is you and I have different theme teams if you don't have Raiders. Other than that, nothing else really matters. So you have to put that into account when you're looking to spend the money, because once you spend it right now, we have 2 more weeks of Team of the Week that are backed up, right? After that happens, you immediately get Team of the Year. So you spend $1 million now, that card is going down to like 500, 600K. Because Eric Weddle is nothing special unless you've invested in a theme team. And even with that, I'm not spending that much. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. But I digress. That is the whole point of the theme team aspect. You're going to need to fill in spots, but what players are still really, really good? And this is a perfect example of what Eric Weddle would be on a theme team. So this is beautiful stuff. This works out, very, very well. But otherwise, dropping those speed points to 96, now he's not that appealing. Now we don't care about him. It's like, all right, whatever, dude. Go handle your business, whatever you want to do, but I don't care about it. So I would wait it out because there is so much more content coming, and you're going to be better off, not spending 1 million coins for Eric Weddle by any stretch of the imagination. I just wouldn't do it. I'm going to talk to you guys and girls next time. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to go over and subscribe to GmiasWorld Gaming and GmiasWorld Podcast right here on YouTube. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love, y'all.